Lenny Quiet on board today. Say hello.
Hello, how are you? How's
Hey,
everyone?
girl. We are so glad to have her here today. Lenny Quiet is a credit repair specialist. So she focuses on credit repair, financial literacy, and so what other person I can just think to bring on board than Lenny. I feel like she will be able to be great for you guys. She'll be able to tell her story, give you guys the advice that you guys would need to change your life and to change your story. So we're gonna jump right on into this, Lenny. So my first question to you, Lainey, is what do credit repair and financial literacy mean to you? I'm sorry.
Financial literacy means to me basically just what it says, financial literacy freedom. Because a lot of people don't understand how credit works as well as how much freedom and power it gives you. So that's basically what that means to me for as literature, knowing, because I feel like when you know better, you do better. And that's a lot of times how we make our mistakes because we just don't know the ins and out of credit. So like I said, we make those mistakes, but if you have that literature, you'll know, the do's and don'ts of credit and how everything works.
Okay. And make sure also your volumes is all the way up. Is your volume all the way up?
Let's see. Yes, I think it
Okay.
is. I made it. It is now.
Okay. How important is credit for people?
It's very important, and
Mhm.
especially in these times now. COVID hit in 2020, and they had a lot of funding that was available to people, but some wasn't able to have access to that funding because of their credit. And credit, if you want anything in life, you're going to need good credit. If you're going to purchase a home, a car, or even far as when you're starting up your business. And now they even have corporate companies as well as different departments far as gas station, different things like that are running your credit before they even hire you, or when they do hire you, before they give you a raise, they're running your credit. So you need credit for everything in your life.
Okay, because most people sometimes feel like if they got a lot of money, then I don't need the credit because I got a lot of money. What do you feel about that? When people think because they
And
got a lot
the
of money?
I don't believe that because you can have if your credit is real good, that gives you power. For as you can go into a car lot, don't need any money, get your car, low interest rate and a low note. But if you have money but you don't have any good credit, you're going to have to put up more money. You have to use your own money, or if you go into a bank to get a loan and say, "Oh well, I have $200,000 in the bank," but the credit gives you trustworthy. So the
Mhm.
bank is not going to approve you for a loan just because you have $200,000 in the bank, because that credit shows them that I can give you this loan and you will trustworthy be able to pay this money back.
Okay, got you. Okay, because a lot of people do feel like, well, if I got money, I don't need credit. But you really do. I mean, regardless, at the end of the day, you got to have credit regardless.
Right, right. And why use your money? If you have good credit, you can use theirs.
My money. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Okay, so you and I discussed how you was raised by a single mom and you didn't know anything about credit. How did seeing your mother struggle affect you in your life and
It
your kids?
it affected me a lot because growing up, I repeated the cycle. Just like you said, I was raised by a single mom. So it was survival mode, coming home from school, hoping that my lights and my water was on. And she did the best that she could with us, but it wasn't taught to her. So she didn't teach us. So I grew up, I repeated the cycle. I lived from paycheck to paycheck. I messed up my credit. I did all of those things. And a lot of times, like my kids needed different things and I wasn't able to provide that for them because again, I was living from paycheck to paycheck. I wasn't saving any money, and then my credit wasn't good to go out and get a loan or get credit or whatever to help them with the things they needed, like for school. So it affected me a lot until I just saw that what I was doing to my kids was the same thing that happened to me when I was younger, and I decided, that I didn't want to do that. And again, that starts first in your mindset. I changed my mindset, and that what made me actually want to, change my life.
And that's good that you say that because that's my motto. Anything you do in life start with changing your mind. It don't matter what it is, relationship, money, health, everything have to start with the mind in order for you to begin on the right track and a new track. So I
Right.
completely agree with that.
Yes, it's so true.
Okay. You mentioned you got tired of living from paycheck to paycheck. Which I think you kind of pretty much touched bases on is, how did that start to affect your mental and emotional state? Just, being a single parent, living from paycheck to the paycheck, trying to do the best you can do. It's not really making ends meet. How do that affect you mentally, emotionally as a mother?
Well, it stressed me out. And I like to say, it wasn't really living from paycheck to paycheck. It was living from pray check to pray check. Because
that's a good one.
I had to pray my way through to get to that next paycheck to be
Ooh,
able to
good.
pay those bills and do those things. So it was very stressful. I was at the altar every Sunday. So yes, I was stressed out. And sometimes I would take it out on my kids. Not for as abuse, but if they were asking me different things to spend time with them, I'm so stressed out, I can't focus on spending time with them because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to keep their lights on, the water, or, have gas in the car to bring them to school.
Right. Oh, that's so good. Girl, that's a good t-shirt. Pray check. Oh, that's a good one. Maybe you need to go ahead and make a t-shirt on that one right there, because that's a good one. I ain't never heard of that one. Pray check. You're right. Because we'll get into those cycles and I remember when I was a single mother, I used to do the same thing. Like when I got paid, the first thing that I would do with my paycheck was go to the mall. And I would spend all my money. And then I still got 2 weeks to go. And they ain't got no gas money to get to work,
Exactly. Exactly. But you was cute though, right? You was cute, but you was broke.
Broke. Right. And ain't nothing cute about that.
Right. And that's where it starts your mindset. You change that mindset.
Change your mindset. Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so why is it that people choose to always look good and spend all their money on material things but refuse to fix their credit? And kind of to go a little bit deeper on that, you will see people on social media and we'll spend so much on designer, which is nothing wrong with designer, but I don't have a designer purse because I always tell myself I don't want to carry the bag if I don't have that amount of money in my account. So for that reason, just for me personally, I have never bought a designer purse because I don't want to carry the purse and I don't have $1,500 to put in the bag, or I don't have $1,500 in my account. So I don't do it. But we live in a world where it's social media shows people this is how you're supposed to live your life. Get all the things. Don't worry about credit. Worry about that stuff later.
Yeah. And especially when you're speaking of social media in the world that we live in now, it's me. You see me, you see what I have on. You have designer, I have the hair, I have the nails, I have the body, and all of those things. And the problem is that the society is fake. It is so fake now. People are really living for other people. I'm buying this Gucci, this, or this Louis Vuitton, that, so I can look like I have money. And this is the thing. Broke people want to prove to other broke people that they have money. But rich people could give a hoot about what someone else thinks. They trying to look poor.
Yes. We're going to stop preaching.
It's your mindset. People really have to stop living from other people and live their own life. And the thing is, far as Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, just like you said, and that's nice and all of that, but it depreciates. Once you buy that purse, and then, like you said, you go through that situation with money and all of those things. Even if you try to sell a Gucci purse, you're not going to get the amount that you paid for it. So it depreciates. So instead of spending that $2,000 on that purse, invest in it. Buy some Apple stock. See if Gucci, you can buy into Gucci or Louis Vuitton or Nike and all those other things. That way, that money can produce more money for you, and you can see it in the long term. Because we don't. Growing up, we wasn't taught about the long game, and that's what I call it, the long game. Investing, buying you a house, buying you a rental property, that's the long game. So when you get older, that money is pajama money. You're going to have that money coming in and you don't even have to work for it.
Girl, you better stop it. And you know what? I think it goes with confidence. Let's go back a little bit. I think it goes with confidence. Because when I was working at my last job before I quit and stepped out on faith, I shopped at the American thrift store. And I just refused to go to the mall and spend $30, $40 on a pair of pants, dress pants, because they was blue or pink. I wasn't going to spend $50, $60 from Express for a pair of dress pants when I can go to the thrift store. They got all these colors all these brand names for $3 and $4. And for work, I had so many dress pants, but they all came from the thrift store because I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I didn't want to go out and spend $50 and $60 and stuff like that on one pair of pants. And even like some of my shoes, like my work shoes, because work shoes, you're going to wear them out anyway. So even some of my
Uh-huh.
work shoes or whatever, I got from the thrift store because for me, I'm so frugal and I just feel like that's not something that I want to invest my money into. Why invest my money into that? And I'm not saying that it's not nothing wrong with having nice things because I do want nice things, but until my money can reach that level, I don't want to pull from something that I really don't have.
Right. Right. And you're right. That's so, so true. And especially for as and some things like you said about the insecurities and how it makes you feel, that's a temporary, feeling. You looking
Mm-hmm.
all cute and with all those name brands on, that's temporary. But then when you're at home and you can't pay that light bill or something comes up to where it's you don't have that money in the saving account, what feeling is that?
Mm-hmm.
How
I
you feel
remember
then?
I remember in my early 20s or whatever, when I would get my income tax, girl, let me tell you, I would be in the car all day driving up and down the main street, going from this mall to this store, and would
Mhm.
go through my whole income tax check. And it's just the feeling felt so good. It was a temporary feeling, but
Yes,
it felt so good to go buy
temporary.
me clothes and shoes and stuff like that. But then the next week I was broke. I was
Right.
broke. And then I hate the feeling of feeling broke. And probably towards my late 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, I was like, absolutely not. And I changed my mindset. And when I would get my income tax check, I would put the whole thing up in the bank and I would make it last for the whole entire year into the next income tax time because
Right.
I didn't like the feeling of feeling broke and not being able to do what I wanted to do.
Right, right. That money gives you security,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you peace of mind as well. Because my grandmother used to always say, it's always going to have a rainy day. And it's true. It doesn't matter how good things are going, you can have money or whatever, and how good things are going. Something is always going to happen to where you're going to need to, have extra money or something. That rainy day will come. It's good to have an umbrella for that rainy day,
Ooh, girl,
you
you better
know?
stop it.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay, so what was the day like when you look in the mirror and you said it's time to make a change? You was tired of struggling, you tired of living from paycheck to paycheck. What was that day like when you said, you know what, this is it. I'm about to make a change for me and my kids.
Well, I can tell you the exact story. I remember it like it was yesterday. I
Go
was
ahead,
at
girl.
home. I was at home and I was broke.
Mhm.
I was at home watching TV and they did a documentary on Michael Jordan. He won the athlete of the century award. And I watched all of that. And then when he did at the very end, they was asking about his Jordan, his tennis shoes, that if he wasn't Michael Jordan, would he purchase those shoes for himself or his kids? And he said no. He said, if I had to buy them for my kids and myself, and I wasn't who I am, I would not buy the shoes. They're too expensive.
Mm.
I'm sitting on the couch broke. I went into my son's room, opened up the closet. He got Jordans from one end of the closet to the other end. These shoes were between $100 to $250, right?
Mhm.
But Michael Jordan just said he would, and he's rich, rich. He wouldn't even purchase those shoes for himself. And I'm broke, but I got Jordans for my kids from one end of the closet to the other end. When I say broke, I mean looking for change in the couch, that kind of broke. To put
Mhm.
what a couple dollars I have to put in the gas to make it to work the next day. And when I looked in the mirror at myself, I cried. I said, I have to do better. I have to do better. I cannot live like this, and I want to teach my kids better. And from that day forward, yes, the rest of the week I was still broke now. But when I did get paid, I put some money in the bank account, and I just started reading about financing, saving, or how much percentage to live off of, what to put in the bank. I always did pay my tithes, but like those things, I started just changing little by little, and it became a habit for me. Saving and budgeting, all of it became a habit, and then it just grew into me getting my credit fixed and want to help other people And that's why I'm here now. So
And
I love it.
I think it's also important too, because I have a 16-year-old and she's not into name brands whatsoever. And I try to teach her, she see how frugal I am. And, I don't want to get her so caught up on the material things that, when she grew up, it's like, I got the material stuff. I got this brand name, but I don't have any money. So she see
Right.
how frugal that I am. And so now she's transitioned the same way, because I don't want her to be looking good, but her finances is not looking right. So I think it's also too important as parents that we teach our kids, because,
Right.
like Christmas will come. And I remember where I would go broke for Christmas for one day for some
Right.
toys and clothes they're not going to
Right.
play with. And then New Year's come, I don't even have any money to go into New Year's with, because I just spent it all,
Right. 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 That's so true. And then you spend all that money for one day, and that's Jesus' birthday. That's not those kids' birthday.
It's
You
not.
know. Yeah. So that is so true. And we have to teach our kids things early that we learn late. Later on we have to suffer. Had we, just like you said, you would get paid and you would spend all your money at the mall and all those things, and then you will be broke. And you learn that later on in life. Well, we teach them which we learn late early, so when they do get to our age, they'll be better informed, and then they'll know how to manage their money and be in a better position that when they are in at our age than we were as at their age.
But how can we break that cycle because it's like a domino effect, where you see the parent is caught up on social media. So that energy and that spirit is transferring to the child. And so, you are working hard parent, you can't afford this, but you're trying to get your kids to Jordans because you caught up on getting stuff. So you spending your last, how can we break that domino effect from the parent to the child?
First, again, what the parent has to change their mindset first. And then it's how and once you learn yourself how to manage your money, budget, and do all those things, as well as install in your kids something valuable, because social media and all those things, that's not valuable. Show them other things. Take them on vacation, save up for their vacation, but take them on vacation, because this is the thing. When the kids experience different, when you go on a vacation and you go to, let's just say you go to Cuba, right? They're going to experience different food. They're going to experience a different lifestyle. And that's going to change something inside of them. They're going to want more besides the little that they see on social media and all of those things. You have to install that in them. Make them, I don't want to say make them, but let them experience different things, culturally. Take them out of the country, take them on vacation, take them, those things. They're going to, like I said, they're going to remember that. And that's going to be an inside of them. And that's what they're going to want more than what they see on
and that was
social media.
part of my transition, when I kind of changed my mindset, because the way you treat money is the way money treats you, and so I stopped spending my money and I started saving it. And it's nothing like being able to take your child on a vacation every summer.
Right.
And we're not talking about 45 minutes up the street, but Disney World, Tampa, or cruise.
Right.
Like, that is the best and the most rewarding feeling ever, is being able to take your child, versus the summertime, you bought your child all these clothes. It's summer here. You can't take the kids nowhere. You can't afford to take them to the movies, especially if you got multiple kids. Because if you got more than one kid, you go to the movies, that's almost $100,
Right.
And so you can't afford to do it. So, but just being able to save that money and put it up to show your child another life, I just think it's the absolutely most best thing and experience ever.
Right. Because they're going to remember that. They're not going to remember that those Jordans, you purchased them on clothes or whatever it is, but that experience, that's what they're going to hold on to. And they're going to remember that when they get older, and hopefully pass it down to their kids and their grandkids.
Right. Okay. How have the change that you made affected your family and your friends? Because how sometimes when people used to seeing you a certain type of way, it's like that's how they view you. But when you change, sometimes it can be a good thing to people or an intimidating thing for people.
Well, for my immediate family, like in my household, it was a good change when I started changing for us, like business wise and credit and all of that. That made them look at what I was doing and change within themselves as well. And my friends, I was always a leader. So they always, whatever I was into, they wanted to be into. So they caught on to it as well. But like my distant family, that doesn't live in the house with me, sister, brother, cousins, and all of that, they started looking at me different as, oh, you think you all that, or you bougie and you this, and because a lot of times when people see a change in you, but they don't see them themselves, they don't want you to change because they haven't changed and they want you to stay in that same spot with them. But again, God told me everybody can't come with you.
Go ahead, girl. And it intimidates people. It's more
Right.
intimidating because I think sometimes mentally and emotionally they feel left behind, but they just don't express it.
Right. And they feel bad inside because they're okay, you're saving, you're doing these different things, and they're not able to do it, or just don't want to do it, haven't changed their mindset. So they're angry with you because you have and they haven't.
Yeah, that's true. What became your purpose of wanting to help people and change their lives? What was the purpose behind it?
I always had a passion of helping people. It just gives me joy in my heart. I love it. I would rather me buy someone something instead of you buying me, like for my birthday, or I'm always like for Christmas and things like that. I'm always planning to do other things for other people. So I know that's just from God. He put that on the inside of me to be able to help people. And again, when I was younger, I didn't know about credit and all of that. But when I learned, I wanted to teach other people, because like I said, when you know better, you do better. And especially in the Black community, people are not there to help you, as well as when you're in a certain environment, you start to think you're a product of that environment, and that's just what you're supposed to do because no one is showing you different. So I wanted to show people different, as well as help them to take them on a different journey from where I went.
That's good. That's good. At what point did you know this was your calling?
Uh, when it wasn't my first client, I think maybe like my third client, she purchased her home. She purchased a home, and then right up there she bought her a new car. And she sent me a text, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm happy, just being actual thankful, but I wasn't like super excited because I knew the program worked. So I knew she was going to be able to get those goals and those things that she accomplished. So I went to an event, and she was there with her family, and she was telling them, this lady helped me and blah, 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 blah. But at the time, I'm ready to quit because it was a lot. And also I had different things going on in my life. And God showed me this is what you're supposed to do. When I went there, she was telling our family, and then also I received like maybe 3 or 4 clients that night, and it just confirmed to me, no, this is where you're supposed to be. I know you got a lot of things going on in your life. I know you're trying to go down this road, but this is what what God wants me to do. And that's when I just, he gave me that confirmation. This is what I want you to do.
Okay. And pretty much you just answered the last question. I was going to actually share your story on how God gave you the confirmation. But I want to kind of just like go back a little bit. Can you tell them what type of job you had before this and how you felt about your job, and you felt like it was something better in the story you told me about making somebody else rich? Kind of go into that a little bit.
Well, before I started with my credit, I was a finance manager. I had been a finance manager for 18 years, but before it was like it was maybe 12 years I was in, and I had been in the office. I hated my job. Paid good money, but it wasn't my passion. It wasn't my purpose. It wasn't fulfilling me. And I was going to work every day doing my job, but I'm steady praying and asking God, what's my purpose? What's my passion? Show me what you want me to do for you. But I wasn't putting any work behind it. Again, I'm just praying and asking God to, show me what it was. So I'm strolling on Instagram and Facebook, and every night I'm staying up to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on different people pages and all of that. So I'm still going to work, but still praying. So this particular night I was on Instagram. I ran across this lady, Danica Smith. She was from Atlanta. She did credit and all of that. I called her, I spoke with her on the phone. The conversation was great. And then I still didn't do nothing about the conversation for us business wise, but I will still continue on to pray and ask God to show me what my passion and my purpose is. So you know how when you ask God for one thing and he show you, but you want 10,000 other signs, you know, that's how it was. That's how it was. But again, I was praying, but I still wasn't putting any work behind it. So I was like, okay, God, like I said, what's my passion, my purpose? And I ran across Danikia's Instagram again, and I saw that she was going to be in Baton Rouge because she's originally located in Atlanta. So I was like, okay, God, I see you. He gave me another sign. I see you. So I said, if I go here and everything is good and it's smooth, just, you know, I'm going to enroll. So I went there, I went to the bathroom and prayed, and God showed me well, I'm sorry, go back. Before he showed me another sign, the devil started playing with my mind. He was telling me I wasn't good enough, I wasn't smart enough, and I have dyslexia. So he was like, you have dyslexia, you're not going to be able to do all of those things. But I cast him down. I was like, no, you have robbed me of too many other things, and you would not rob me of this as well. And I went in, the conference was smooth, it was great, and I enrolled that night. And I've been moving and helping people just in 2020, even in the COVID, I was still able to help 102 families, 102 families within the pandemic. Wow. So I know this is my passion. I know this is my purpose. And I would tell people, just keep praying, but also do your work as well. You can't just leave it up to God, because he says when, I'm sorry, if you want him to order your steps, you have to be willing to move your feet. You know, so just keep praying. And like I said, put your own work in, because when you make one step, God is going to take the rest.
At what point, when you realized this was your calling, how did you say, okay, I'm going to allow this to be a game changer for my life and for other people?
The more I did it, the more I helped people, that gave me more boost to want to continue on helping people. And I, don't get me wrong, I love to help everybody, but I really, really wanted to take back my community where I grew up at, to go back to help them and show them you don't have, like I said, you don't have to be a product of your environment, but not only that, to show them they can have better. You know, you can do better, you can have better when you have the knowledge to do better. So that's when I was like, you know what, it's yes, this is credit, this is financial, but I'm gonna take it to a whole nother level, because now I'm doing women conference, women empowerment conference, as well as working on helping single moms to be able to afford their own homes and low income apartments and things like that. So that purpose has opened so many other doors for me to let me know God has a bigger calling on my life than I even could imagine.
Wow, wonderful. That's good. Has it been hard to transition people's mindset so that you can get them on board to make a difference in their lifestyle?
Yes, because people get comfortable. They get comfortable in the position they're in, and like I said, they think that in their mind, this is it. I've been having bad credit. I've been struggling. This is just who I am. My mama struggled. My grandmother struggled. And then they think that that's just what they're supposed to do. Or some of them just don't want to put in the work. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I want to change, but they don't want to put the work behind it. Yeah.
Okay. How can people make the first step to changing their lives?
For as financially?
Credit and financially.
For as credit, one, pull your credit report so you can actually know what's on there. A lot of times there are a lot of things that's on your credit report that's inaccurate. And when I say inaccurate, it doesn't mean that's not your debt. It could be your initial of your name is wrong. Well, guess what? They have to take it off. Your address could be wrong, but that still could be your debt, still your right name, but your address is wrong. They still have to take it off. So like I said, just first pull your credit report so you can actually see what's on there and then work from there. Because it could be something simple to where you could just call the credit bureau and say, this is not my address, this is wrong. And they have to take it off regardless if that's your debt or not. So start from there, pull your credit report and start saving. Even if it's $5, $10, put something aside for us
Mhm.
financially.
So when they pull their credit report, what is the best credit bureau that they need to pull from? Is it Equifax, TransUnion, Experian? Which one is the best, or does it even matter?
It doesn't matter. You need all three.
Okay.
You need all three because the credit bureau is just a reporting company.
Mhm.
It's not the FBI. It's not the government. It's just a reporting company. So those creditors pay Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion to put those items on your credit report. So let's just say a creditor paid Experian and TransUnion to report that negative item on your credit report, but didn't pay Equifax, right? So that's why you want to pull all three so you'll be able to see what's on it, because some things that's on one credit report might not be on the other two or the other one.
So let me ask you this, okay, after 7 years, they say that it's, they're supposed to remove it out your credit after 7 years. But say after 7 years and it's maybe 8, 9 years later and it's still on there, how can a person get that off?
They will have to dispute the item and get it removed.
Okay.
Yes. And then everything doesn't stay on there 7 years. Some stay like a bankruptcy. That's 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing. Let's just say you have a negative item that's on your credit report and it's been 6 years, 6 months, right? That creditor starts contacting you and they call you, "Hi, this is Susie from AT&T. Am I speaking with Lenny Quiet?" As soon as I say speaking, guess what? They can update your file because they've had contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to watch those things as well. Don't hold on to that 7 years because some things do roll off in 7 years if they don't have any contact with you. If they have contact with you, they can update it and then it can be on your credit report for another 6 months, another year, 2 years, or whatever. But
Okay.
you have to know your rights. You know it's supposed to come off in 7 years, so you will have to dispute it and send a letter into the credit bureaus to have it removed.
Okay. For most people that are struggling, who are living from paycheck to paycheck, that really wants a better life, they can't afford to get their credit fixed. How can they start to build a life for themselves and their family?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the end part. You kind of went out a little bit.
Okay, for most people that are struggling, who are living from paycheck to paycheck, that really wants better, they can't afford to get their credit fixed. How can they start to build a better life for themselves and their families?
Okay, they can start on their own. Like I said, pull their credit report. They can pull their credit report for free once a year. It's called freecreditreport.com. They can pull their credit report and then, like I said, just start seeing what's on there, writing their own letters. Now it's going to take time, but writing their own letters and sending those dispute letters in to help with that. Now it'll take longer than going to a credit company or whatever, but they can do it as on themselves as well. So that's the main thing. Just started pulling your credit report, seeing those things on there, and then make sure they're paying everything on time. And like the credit companies, if they have like credit cards and if they're not able to, especially during this time, because COVID is helping a lot of people, far as financially to, you can let them know, look, I'm going through whatever due to COVID, and the credit card companies they would help you not to report it. You'll still owe that debt, but they won't report it to the credit bureau during the time.
Okay. What is the most important focus when fixing your credit?
When fixing your credit, you need to make sure you're in a position to pay all your bills on time. Because if you're working on your credit and you're still not paying everything on time, you're wasting your time. Because if you take those negative items off and your credit score increases, but you're still not paying your bills, your credit is going to go right back down. So the main thing is just make sure you're in a position to where you can pay all your bills on time.
But let me ask you, if you got a single mother or maybe even a 2-parent household, that's really tight financially, and say for instance, after they pay all the bills and whatnot, and they may only have $100 left, how can they save that money and fix their credit at the same time when it's really no money there to start to try to rebuild what's broken?
I would say they need to downsize, because this is the thing. If all of your money is going to expenses, you can't afford those expenses. your paycheck should not be maxed out to where everything goes to your bills. 70% of your paycheck should cover your expenses. 20% should go into your savings account. And then that 10%, that should be for your wants or whatever, you know, if you want to put that to the side for a big purchase or whatever. But 100% of your income should not be going to your expenses. So I would say downsize.
Okay. So my next question is, how can people prevent identity theft? And for the ones that have experienced identity theft, how can they repair what's been stolen?
Okay, two things. One, a lot of like I know for sure Chase and Capital One, they provide you with identity monitoring that comes with a certain checking account that you receive, right? Mm-hmm. And then with our company, we have privacy armor. So we protect you if you enroll with us as far as getting your credit repaired, we provide you with identity monitoring. So I would just say, and always check your credit report. They have free apps for Experian has a free app, and different sources have free apps to where you'll be able to see your credit report. So just always frequently check it so you'll know what actually on there, instead of when you go to purchase something, then you find out, oh, someone used my social security number to purchase whatever. So you have to, as far as your credit, always check it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then identity monitoring.
Okay. Does bad debt? Okay. I'm sorry, I lost my spot.
That's okay.
Okay. What is considered a bad, fair, and good credit score?
Okay, so a bad credit score is from 350 to I would say to 620.
Really?
Yeah, because yeah, and this is the thing. Listen to me, okay? And then especially they have changed it now. Okay, so at 600, it's not like bad, but it's fair, and it's still going to affect you if you go to purchase a car, a home, or you still have a high interest rate, and you'll still have a struggle trying to purchase those big items. Mm-hmm. So you want to shoot for at least, I would say shoot for 850. That's the highest you can go. But between 650, that's when you're gonna start seeing better results in things that you're trying to purchase. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Does bad debt affect good available credit? You know, you can have bad debt on your credit report, but you may have 2 open lines of credit of good credit. Can the bad debt affect the good credit that you have open and available?
Well, it won't affect the good credit that you already have open and available, but it will affect you moving forward trying to purchase something else. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you already, let's just say, if you have 2 credit cards that's in collections, right? That's your bad debt. And then you have a secured credit card, or you have a personal loan, but you're paying that on time. That's your good credit. That bad debt won't affect that good credit, but it will affect moving forward when you're trying to purchase any new thing, far as, you know, purchase a home, car, or whatever it is, because that bad debt is going to affect your interest rate on the new debt that you're trying to purchase.
Okay. What should people know about applying for credit cards? I mean, what should people know when they apply for credit cards?
One, they need to look at the interest rate. Mm-hmm. 2, all credit cards are not good credit cards. Do your research. See how much the annual fee is when they report to the credit bureaus. What's the fee if you're late? Hopefully you don't be late, but what's the fee for if you're late? And the main thing is the interest rate. If they have a high interest rate, do not deal with that credit card company.
Okay, so what should people know about interest rates? Also, what's a good interest rate and what's a high interest rate?
Excuse me. So a good interest rate between 1% and 8%. That's a good interest rate. But it also depends on what you're purchasing. Mm-hmm. Now, a high interest rate is from 8 and above. So you can, if a 12 a 12% interest rate, that's high, especially for a car, or a 20% interest rate on a house, or things like that. It just varies from different things that you're trying to purchase. But for a credit card, if you see, if they say the interest rate is 27% or 30% or 15%, no, do not mess with that credit card. So like I said, it just varies on what you're trying to purchase for its interest rate.
Okay. If people put forth the effort, how long can it take them to repair their credit?
It just depends on the situation. It depends on what's on their credit report.
Mm-hmm.
So they can have maybe like 5 things on their credit report, but those 5 things are a repossession, a foreclosure, $100,000 in student loan debts. Though, like those things, a repossession and a foreclosure will take a little longer, and it depends on how long it's been on your credit report. The older the foreclosure is, the older repossession, the sooner it'll come off your credit report. So every situation is different. I can't say 6 months to a year, because it may have something that on there that may take 5-6 months to come off, but eventually it will come off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So how can a person work towards recovering their student loan debt? Like if they got a lot of student loan debt on their credit report, they already struggling to make it, how can they start to like take care of that without it affecting their credit?
Well, one, if they're not paying it, it's affecting their credit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But they can also, I don't recommend it, but you can get it deferred. You can get your student loan deferred. The thing is, the interest rate occurs every day on student loans.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get those student loans deferred, you still have all that interest rate, that you'll have to pay back. I would say you can call the student loan company and let them know, this is my income, this is, what I make, and they will negotiate with you, but you will still have to make those payments.
Mm-hmm.
Do not pay those student loans, because like I said, the interest rate occurs daily. So you can go from a student loan, you owe them $40,000. Within a couple of years, you'll owe them $80,000
Mm-hmm.
just in interest. So you need to make sure you paying something, even if it's $5, $10. Make sure you pay them something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what should people avoid when working on their credit? What are some things they should avoid when they're trying to fix their credit? Which could be applying for credit cards and stuff.
Right. Applying for new credit. If you're working on your credit report, do not apply for any new credit until you reach your credit score goal that you're trying to get to. So do not apply for any new credit.
Can you also explain, because I don't even know, and it's a difference between your credit score and it's called FICO score. What's the difference between the two?
Okay, so your FICO score is your overall score, right? Mm-hmm. It's a percentage from each score. That's how you get your FICO score. Now, the FICO score is usually when you go to purchase the big purchases, your house and those things. They use that. And then your regular score, your Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, that's basically an estimate of your score. But the FICO score is
And what does a credit repair journey look like, and how can a person stay patient while going through the process?
Okay, so patience, that's the key. You have to trust the process, because again, like I said, every situation is different. It may take 3 months, it may take 6 months, it may take a year. I would say just make sure you do not apply for any new credit, as well as pay all your bills on time, and just listen to whatever your credit specialist tells you, far as if she's asking or he is asking you to apply for a secured credit card or self-lender or those different things. Just follow what they're letting you know, because they're professional and they know what's actually going to work better for you, and just trust the process. That's all I can say, is just have patience and trust the process. Because
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If there's any particular secure credit cards that you can recommend?
First Progress.
Okay.
I will recommend First Progress. we deal with them with our company, and to me they're the best, but again I'm biased because our company deals with those. But First Progress is a very good one, and it reports to the credit bureau every 28 days, and if you pay it, utilize it correctly, you will see your credit score start to go up within the first 90 days.
Okay. What can change look like for a household when a person credit is good?
Oh, a lot. Far as to start saving money, you can get a lot of people don't know when they get their car insurance, that's based off your credit report. So when your credit score increases, you can go and get your insurance lowered for as your premium and your monthly payments. You can also refinance your house or refinance your car. Or when you go to purchase a new car, if your credit is a minimum of 720, and you've been paying all your bills on time, you won't have to put any money down. You can drive off the lot with that low interest rate and that low car note that you would like. Mm-hmm. So yes, it saves you money. Credit gives you power.
Well, that's good. Credit give you power.
It does.
Okay. Is good credit the first step to breaking financial cycles?
Yes. Okay. Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay. And yes, how can a person prevent themselves from falling back into the loophole again?
Again, being financially understanding your finances, as far as create your budget and know the ins and out of how credit works, what's your do's and don'ts. Mm-hmm. So that's what help you not to fall back in that cycle, because you know, okay, I have to stay under this budget because if I'm not able to pay my bills, my credit score is going to go down, you know. So, or I need to know how much I can utilize on this credit card so that won't drop my credit score as well. Like I said, just the do's and don'ts of credit, knowing how credit works.
And I think I remember somebody saying, like, if you have a credit card, just say hypothetically credit limit is $500, that you don't spend the whole $500, you spend what, 30% or something like that?
Yes, 30% is a good number, but I tell all my clients do under 20% because your credit score will increase more. Okay. So yeah, never max out your credit card, because to the creditors, it looks like you're cash poor. So never max out your credit card, and whatever you charge, pay it off monthly. If you charge $50 when that statement comes in, you pay that $50, not the minimum amount.
Okay. Last but not least, since this pandemic hit, how can people restore their credit that was once good? For people that once had good credit, and then when the pandemic hit, their credit just went on out through the roof. How can they start to begin to restore that?
One, they will have to start paying their bills on time, but I would say call the creditors. And during this time right here of COVID, a lot of creditors are helping people because they know people's financial situation changed because of COVID-19. So just call them if you have credit card debt or even your mortgage is behind. They have so many programs that are helping you due to COVID. So start there, not answering the phone or throwing that mail away. Get in contact with them and start. Yes, because they'll be like, I don't have the money, throw it in the trash. No, call them and work things out. Just let them know your situation. You know, I don't want to use COVID for everything, but right now is the actual time that they're willing to help you due to COVID. Right. You know, so contact them. Yes.
Okay. Before we end, are there any tips or advice that you would like to leave as far as credit?
For what credit cards? I love this. I do this every month. So if your credit card, you've charged $100 on your credit card, right? And when the statement comes in and it's due on let's just say the 21st, pay $50 15 days before it's due, and then pay the other $50 3 days before it's due. You're still paying your $100, but you're tricking the system to make them think you made two payments instead of one. But really, you just divided that one payment up. And instead of your credit score increases one time, it increases twice.
Oh wow! Oh, that's a good tip.
Yes. Okay. But you have to be consistent with it as well. Don't do it just 1 month and then wait 5-6 months and do it again. Be consistent with it.
Okay. And so, Lenny, if someone wants to contact you, your business, get in contact with you personally, how can they contact you? Can you give them all your contact information, your name, your business, your website, your email? Can you just let it on out right now?
Okay, again, my name is Lenny Quiet. I for Facebook, it's Lenny Quiet. My phone number is 225-205-1715. My email is lquiet@laneyquiet.com. My website is ucespp/lquiet.net. Yes.
Thank you. And what's the name of the company you work for?
United Credit Education Services. And we've been around for 15 years. So we just didn't pop up. We've been here.
Okay, awesome. And is there anything else you want to leave? If you just had a gem to drop to someone out there that's struggling with credit, whether it's a single mother, whether it's a two-parent household with two incomes coming in, if there's any type of words of encouragement that you can give them to just give them hope, like this season is just temporary in their life.
Right. I would say, far as credit, it's not the end of the world. It can always be fixed. It doesn't matter whether you owe debt or you just have 100 items on your credit report. It all can be removed due to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Anything that's reporting negative on your credit report, you can dispute it. And I'm giving you a tip. Far as the president, our current president now, Donald Trump, he has filed bankruptcy 3 times. And the law states that a president cannot be president if he's filed bankrupt. He has filed bankrupt, but it's not on his credit report. And you know why? Because of the Fair Credit Report Act. It's removed off his credit report. So if he's the president and he's got those items removed off his credit report, you can too. Just don't give up. Like I said, make sure you start paying your bills on time when you're able to. Call those creditors and work programs out with you. And it's not the end of the world. You can always get your credit repaired and start completely over. I did.
And exactly, you're a product of your service. I mean, you told how you went through it and how you just transformed your life, and now you're in a better state in your life. So, I mean, you're a product of your service. Like, it shows that it is possible and it can be done.
Yes, I'm a product of the product.
No more paycheck. You need to get a t-shirt. You need to get a t-shirt made that say that, right? And let that be your t-shirt, girl, to go along with your business, girl.
Yes, and you're gonna make my shirt, right?
We're gonna pray about that one. But look, when you need more than one shirt, you actually need a line of shirts like that you can actually sell, because I never heard nobody say that before.
Yes, girl. Yes, that paycheck to paycheck. I was praying on my knees every Friday. Every Friday. It made me, it made me stronger because those prayers gave me power.
Right, absolutely. I'm so happy and I'm so thankful that you just took the time to come on board. Most important, thank you for your time. Just being able to come and share your story, because when I heard your story at the Women Empowerment event, I was like, okay, I think that she would be great to be able to just share her story and to show people that there's hope. Because I think when people sometimes look at credit repair specialists, some people think like, dog, they credit great, but some people credit have not always been at that place. And there's a story to how you went from that to that it wasn't, you didn't get into your business just already having an 850 credit score, that you came from 0 and you went to 100.
Right. Right. A lot of people think when their credit is bad, it's the end of the world. They can't never come back from it, but you can come back from anything. And that's not just with credit. It even just in life, whatever you go through, you can always come back from it. It's a time and a season for everything. And that's Bible, honey. So yes, it might be right now that your credit is messed up, but that's not where it's going to be forever if you take the steps to, move forward and better yourself. It'll change.
Right. And you guys check her out on Facebook, because she always have little good messages and stuff on her pages where she leave. You have little videos that you do. And it's on Mondays, Motivational Mondays.
Motivation Monday. I do Motivation Monday every Monday. Yes.
Okay, so you guys just, make sure just to check her out. So we just want to thank you for coming on, and you just have a great day.
You too. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem, girl.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.